Hey guys, Bob here. So as you may remember when I made the video last week, the first wide release was released this last weekend since COVID, and that was the Russell Crowe movie Unhinged. And well, numbers wise, it made an estimated 4.1 million over the 3-day weekend. Now I know typically that isn't anything to write home about, but there are some important things to remember about this number. Number one, even though it was a wide release, it was still only in 1,823 locations. So nowhere near as wide as the 3,000 plus screens we're used to seeing, or even some of the more modest upper 2,000 screens. Because I do remember there was a lot of films released like in the 2,800 screen, or 2,800 location neighborhood, excuse me. Something else to remember, it's kind of an extension of that, is the largest market, of the 28 largest market areas, only 12 of them are open. Theaters are not open in New York, California, New Jersey, Maryland, and so on. So those numbers are going to shrink down the box office returns as well, since they don't have the typical movie-going crowd to these bigger typical movie-going crowd. It makes it a lot harder to get any good number. My take on the numbers, they're not the eye-popping numbers that we're used to pre-COVID, and they're not also not the kind of numbers that are probably getting a lot of the bigger other studios with bigger films, such as Wonder Woman and some of the others. They're probably saying, they're probably going to, that's not encouraging them to go ahead and release it. With that being said, I don't think the $4 million is that bad of a number. You've got to sit and think, what kind of money was this movie probably going to make in the pre-COVID world anyway? Because realistically, we're looking at a movie that was probably not going to top $100 million domestically anyway. And B, if you take out those markets that I was discussing and just sat and looked at at it and figure back in a rough proportion to what those markets would account for, it isn't really that far off where you'd think the movie would be anyway. And what's more, the movie actually, as is typical with most films, the Saturday has a bigger number than the true Friday number, as is, if you follow the box office, that's something that is fairly common, but it shows that there was carryover, that there was still interest after the initial day of release. So yeah, that it isn't that impressive of a number to look at on if one just looked at face value, but when you consider all the other factors, it isn't that bad. Again, when taken at face value, these numbers aren't that impressive, but when combined with the fact that it wasn't a typical wide release, and that the major markets, a lot of them still weren't open, and B, it wasn't necessarily going to be this huge film anyway. It isn't going to hurt to wait and see what happens next weekend with New Mutants, although it's still technically going to be classified as a limited release, so I don't know how big of a number we're going to get there. But it's going to be interesting to see how some of these other movies perform that are getting some limited releases. So that's all I've got for today. I just want to kind of comment on those box office numbers. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if any of you guys managed to go see it yet. I plan on seeing it sometime this week. Wasn't able to go this weekend. Like I said, I was in a hayfield, and when you're a farmer, there's certain times you have to get your own work done before you can go enjoy yourself. This is one of those times. It was the last cutting of hay. It had to get done. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. Please consider subscribing to this channel. I try to have new content daily. Doesn't always work that way because my internet is terrible in Northwest Missouri, but sometimes, a lot of the time it works out, but sometimes they're delayed. Follow me on Facebook or Twitter. Just search for Bob the Film Guy. And for now, this is Bob signing off.